said he has been arrested on Coca-Cola charges and on stealing from the trust account of a client. This is not my life. Like, this is not my life. Hey girl, how are you? My name is Larry, Glam Larry Lawrence, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to Hot Mom Production Studios. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe because it's free. It's for the free, and you ain't gotta be a mom to subscribe here. You know, you ain't gotta be a mama. That's all I'm gonna say. So y'all, I've had this conviction for a while to talk to y'all about something. It's something that I have not talked about to anyone besides my husband or a therapist. I haven't really talked to my friends about it because it was such a traumatizing time for me. Hey, it's Editing Larry. So I had to add in here my mama. My mama held me down. My mama, that's my girl. Hey mom. Stay to the end, okay? Because I'm not just on the internet telling all my business, okay, for fun, okay? I'm telling you for a point, for a reason, so stay till the end. We are gonna get into how my uncle tried to extort me for $10,000. Yeah, so love family, gotta love that. So girl, we're gonna do makeup and hair over here. Makeup is one of the things that I feel like calms me down enough to even be able to talk about this. It is 2017, okay? It's 2017. It is starting off as a good year. It's actually April of that year. I had gotten engaged to my now husband. He actually proposed to me on a like Vegas trip. I was doing a trip to make him feel better because he was going through some stuff. But I basically had made a trip for him to make him feel better, celebrate his birthday. And on that same trip, we got engaged and I was not expecting it at all. I come home, I'm super excited. Call my daddy. Dad's super excited. My dad and my husband were pretty close. My daddy was like everybody's daddy. He was amazing, but super excited. We started planning the wedding and everything. And just figuring out what we're gonna do for the wedding, right? I wanna say maybe a month later, my grandma had passed away. My grandma, my father's mother. My grandma was a typical classy Southern woman, okay? I have good Southern grandmothers, okay? And she was the epitome of that. She was no nonsense. She just taught me so much, but she had passed away and my grandma was really the matriarch of the family. And so y'all know when the matriarch or the patriarch of the family goes on to glory, goes on to the upper room, sometimes people start wilding. Some families come together, some families start wilding. My family started wilding. So also my family is the typical Black Southern family, massive family, lots of trauma. People are angry at, people are just angry at certain people. I don't know why. Nobody knows why. Like, we don't know. People just be mad. And I'm the fourth youngest of like, I think 10 cousins. So, you know, when you're the youngest, you just stay out of it because you ain't been here long enough to know what's happening and you really don't care. So that's kind of what's going on in my family. Loving family, we just have pockets of people who are just very angry about things and I don't know what they're angry about. So my grandma passes away, we have the funeral. A little bit of a backstory. My grandma had dementia and my dad had retired early so that he could move in and take care of my grandma because he had nurses there and he had issues with one of the nurses where she basically was not taking care of my grandmother in the way that we would like. So my dad basically was like, yeah, I got to retire early and move in with mama and take care of her. My dad and my grandmother were really close. Like my dad lived like 5 to 10 minutes away from her. He was there like up until the time she passed away. My grandmother had a will from 1970. It's old, girl. It's a will, but it's old. And she wanted them to like sell the house in the event that she had passed away. Here's where it starts. So my grandmother lived in Dayton in this neighborhood that is not great. Anybody been to Dayton, y'all know what's going on, okay? I ain't gonna get into it. After selling the house, first repairing it, okay? After repairing, selling the house, the most they were gonna get for that house was like $30,000. It was not much. They would have had to probably pay $30,000 to fix it up to get a realtor to sell it. Like that, it just didn't make any sense. But the house was like free and clear because my grandfather had actually built the house. My dad was like, well, it doesn't make sense to sell it. And my dad is on the deed. So he's on the deed because my grandma had dementia, and it was like, well, he's the one that's always been looking out for her, taking care of her. You know, duh, it makes sense for dad to, you know, be on there. So he was on the deed way before my grandma passed away. And so my dad was just like, you know what? I think it's smarter for us to just hold on to the house. Let's, you know, we'll slowly work on fixing it up, and it'll just be a free home for our family. So like, if anybody ever falls into hard times, there's a house you can live in. Like, here's a house. My aunt thought it was a great idea. And here is where my uncle comes in. Give y'all some backstory on my uncle. Me and my uncle have no relationship at all. I know he exists. I've seen him prior to all this stuff happening. I can probably say I've probably seen him like 3 times in my whole life. So yeah, we don't have a relationship. I never really knew why I never saw him, or he was never really around, because I always saw his kids, which were my cousins, but I never like saw him around, and I didn't ask about it. But the times where he was around, I do remember feeling like, ugh. I just remember there was like tension. I remember being a kid and going, oh, what's going on? Ooh. But I never asked because I was like, ain't got nothing to do with me. So I never asked. So my uncle comes in and he's like,
no, we're selling the house.
Everybody was like, where'd you come from, homeboy? Because you're never around. And when I say you're never around, like, he was never around. When my grandmother was passing away, he had come up, and that was the 4th time I had seen him in my life. They're explaining to him, like, that doesn't make sense. Like, we're gonna just cut it. We're just gonna break even if we do that. Because, you know, when you sell, you gotta split it 3 ways. There's 3 of them. So he decides,
yeah, no, I want to sell it. I'm gonna sue you in probate for the house because you're stealing the house.
That is when all Heliante just breaks loose. So my dad is in this probate case with his brother, and I am just so confused because I'm just like, I just don't understand. Like, it's not in a good neighborhood. You're not gonna really make any money off of it. Why would you sell it? Like, it's a free house. Keep the free house. My dad had his own home. So it wasn't like my dad was trying to keep it for himself so he could live there. He had his own home that he was paying a mortgage on. Like, you know what I mean? And my dad was also in the process at the time. Like, I had talked to him and said, you know, Dad, I think you just need to move out. I know you're really sad about grandma, but let's just go ahead and get out of here. So my dad was actually starting, like, he was packing to move back into his house. I had this conversation with my dad, and I was just like, Dad, like, what's going on? Why don't you guys get along? Like, why is he being so like mean and harsh when he speaks? Like, what's going on? Like, and my uncle was mean to my dad and my aunt, but he was really mean to my dad. Like, he was nasty.
A nasty, vile, gutter snipe.
My dad just always told me, Laurence, I don't know. Like, it's always been this way, even when we were kids. Like, he didn't really look out for me. Like, I don't know. It's just always been this way. But he was like, he's your uncle, and you just gonna respect that and just stay out of it. And so I was like, okay. And even my aunt, I asked my aunt also, and she was like, I don't know. He's always been mean to your brother. Unnecessarily. He's been mean to me. He's just always been mean. She's like, I don't know. They're going through that whole court battle, that whole court case. 6 months later, my dad actually passed away. It was not expected. It was very sudden. Anyone who has lost a parent knows it is like one of the worst things it is probably up there with one of the worst things that you'll probably go through in your life, especially when you lose your parent young. Like I said, I was 27 when my dad passed away. I was 27 planning my wedding when my dad passed away. And me and my dad were very close. He was my homie. And that was super hard. And I just remember that time is very foggy for me. It's very foggy. I became very robotic, just going through the movements. So I recall, like, I think 2 days after I told my husband, he wasn't my husband, my boyfriend, he was my fiance at the time, whatever, y'all know. We should go to the house and get your dad's stuff out. And I was just like, yeah, I got a key. Like I said, he's on the deed, so it's fine for me to go in the house. And I'm literally going in there to get my stuff out. And the only reason, I looked it up because my dad and his brother were in that case, and I just wanted to like be sure that like I could just go in there and get my dad's stuff, because he was being a little cray from what I heard. Drive to Dayton. My brother's meets me there, my older sister meets me there, my husband's there with us, and we just go and we just grab his stuff, and it all went into my car. So we are walking upstairs to get his stuff out. We were all walking upstairs because we had the last box. We were basically done. So at that time, my cousins, who are my dad's brother's kids, they show up. I'm not expecting them, because I'm sure getting stuff. So they are like, we heard what happened. I think I cried. I don't remember. I think I cried. And I'm walking outside and I see another car pull up. It's I forgot to tell y'all. So my cousin, who at the time was a sheriff, my cousin came with us too. He's a sheriff. He the feds, but he the good feds. He the kind of feds you want around. He's there with us because he knows stuff has been crazy, but he also knows we ain't been in it, because we just over here. We just the kids. We just like, oh my gosh, our dad died. Like, we gotta, oh my gosh. He comes because he's just like, I don't want y'all to have any problems. So we're coming outside. My uncle pulls up. And at first I don't think anything of it. I'm just kind of like, oh, is he here? Because, his brother just passed away. He comes out of his car with a manila envelope in hand, yelling,
"This house is in probate! This house is in probate!"
Y'all, when I tell you, I blacked out. All I remember is jumping off the porch. Like, y'all know when people say, like, I jumped off the porch? I jumped off the porch. That's all I remember. I blacked out. And I just remember jumping off the porch, and I don't remember anything else. And then all I remember is being on my brother's shoulders after that. And my brother's a tall guy. My brother's like 6'9", 6'10". And I am just like, I just remember being on his shoulders and I'm screaming. And I just remember him telling me, "Lauren, stop! Lauren, stop! Lauren, stop!" He just keeps yelling, and I am like thrashing. I hear somebody say,
"You hit my dad!"
And I hear my cousin go, "She didn't touch him. She was close, but she didn't touch him." All of a sudden, the police are called, right? So I kind of calm down, and I look over, and there's a police officer walking over to me, and I'm like, "Why are you walking over to me?" Like, y'all, I'm like, "Why are you walking over to me?" And my sister comes over to me, she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yes." And I'm just kind of like startled, because I'm like, "What's going on?" The police were like, "What's going on?" And we're just like, I was like, "My dad just passed away. I am just here to get his stuff and put it in his house. That's it." And the police were like, "Is he on the deed?" I said, "Yes." And I don't know how they looked it up. I don't know if they can they look that up in their car? I have no idea. They basically tell them like, "Hey, lawfully she can be here. Like, the house is in his name. Lawfully she literally is just taking his stuff out. That's it. She's not touching anything else." So I pack up the car and I leave, and I was exhausted. Emotionally, physically, I was just exhausted. And I think for me, I was so like bewildered, because I was just like, your mother just passed away 6 months ago. Your brother just passed away 2 days ago. Like, how are you worried about a court case? Like, what is really wrong with you? And that is when I realized that I am dealing with someone who is like not gonna be kind. I know that I'm gonna have to talk to a probate attorney, because now this house is our house. okay? It's my siblings' house. And my siblings and I are like, we don't want this, okay? Our grandmother passed away in this house. Our daddy passed away in this house. We don't want this house. And I had gotten a probate, like a state attorney, sorry. I had gotten a state attorney and his name was Brian. Oh, Brian. Oh, Brian. Such a funny story about Brian. So I get a probate attorney and I tell him the situation and I was just like, can't I just like give them the house? Like, can I just sign something? And they're just letting y'all just be like, here y'all go, y'all figure it out. And the y'all was my aunt and my uncle. And the attorney was like,
yeah, don't work like that. It's not that easy.
so he was like, since there's a probate case and he's suing your dad, you can't really go about it like that. Let's see if we can mediate. Because if that's really all he wants, we should be able to mediate and just be like, here y'all go. You and your sister figure it out. Leave us out of it. I was like, cool, that's what's up. I had told my aunt. My aunt was like, yeah, that's fine. It's a fine plan. You know, I'll figure it out with him. I'm like, all right, cool, bet. So I'm thinking I'm good. Lo and behold and lo, shout out to Jessie Woo. Weeks go by and I go to the mailbox. Mind you, it is around Christmas time. I vividly remember this. I go to the mailbox and I have a manila envelope in my mailbox. And I'm like, what is this? I open it up. My uncle is suing me. Yeah, girl, my uncle is suing me for the house, for stolen college funds. He is suing me for money being stolen out of bank accounts. And I'm looking at these accounts and I'm like, what are these accounts? I don't even know what this is. There are college funds? Well, if there are college funds, why didn't my college get paid off? So I am just like so confused. He said I stole antique furniture. I'm like, what is he talking about? I am freaking out because I'm like, what happened? What happened to mediation? What happened? You're gonna reach out to his attorney, Brian? What happened? Like, what happened? So I call my attorney and I'm like, yo, what is this? And so I like fax it to him, I think. And he's like, yeah, he's suing you for blah, 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 what I just told y'all, right? And I'm like, so how do we get here? Brian, how do we get here? Because we don't want this house. Why am I being, and then me, why am I being sued? That was the thing. I was being sued. Not my brother, not my sister, me. I was being sued. So I'm like, why am I being sued? I forgot, this is a little icing on the cake, y'all. He was also suing me saying that I had stolen money from my grandma's account to pay for a down payment on my house. And I was like, yo, you don't even know how buying a house works, because if you knew that, the title company literally traces every single dollar. Like, for y'all that haven't bought a home yet, like here's an example. My husband's aunt, she gave us $5,000. She had to write a letter saying it was for gift money, telling them where it was from, what it was going to be used for. Like, they wanted proof of everything. So I'm just like, what is he talking about? Like, I can't, like, what? What? Like, what? My attorney's like,
yeah, I tried to talk to him. His attorney's a little combative, didn't really go well, so now he's suing us.
So he's like, what is this antique mirror he's talking about? When my grandma passed away, it was like agreed upon that all the grandkids could go into her house and take one item to remember her by. And there is this gold antique mirror. It's this gold antique mirror that I have hanging on my wall to this day. That's what he was referring to. He's like, okay, I'm gonna call you back. We're gonna figure this out, blah, 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 right? So I call my aunt. I am freaking out. I am like, where are these college funds? Because my college is not paid off. Why don't I have the college fund? And I am talking to my other cousin. She's the oldest and she was the one helping like take care of my grandma and stuff. And she is just like, it's okay, we're gonna figure this out, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, why is he going after me? I had to go call an estate realtor or an estate adjuster, because they had to come out and look at this mirror that I allegedly stole, okay? And he comes to the house and he takes one look at the mirror and goes,
it's a gorgeous mirror. It's a beautiful replica.
He like looks behind the mirror, is looking at all these markings, and he's like, yeah, it's a replica of like some type of mirror, but yeah, the frame is plastic. The only real thing is the glass, you know, the mirror. That's the only real thing. So I'm like, so how much is this mirror like worth? And he's like, and this is like 2018, y'all. So, you know, He's like,
Like 300 to 400.
So my uncle in his paperwork was saying that the mirror was estimated to be worth $5,000. This estate adjuster evaluator is saying the mirror is worth $300 to $400. So I call the attorney, tell him what's going on. The guy sends him the paperwork. So mind y'all, through this whole process, I do think it's odd that I have to call my attorney and tell him everything. Because I'm like, you're the attorney. Like, shouldn't you be doing all this? Like, Brian, something's really weird with you, Brian. Something's really weird. So I call my aunt. My aunt says,
girl, that ain't no antique mirror. Like, mama bought that from the furniture store up the street in the 70s. Like, that frame is plastic. It ain't no antique mirror. He know that ain't no antique mirror.
So I told my aunt, like, I just had to pay for someone to come out to show that this is not an antique mirror. So we've got that handled, squared away, okay? Fast forward, I get married in 2018. Months go by, this case is still not over. I am like calling this lawyer because I'm like, what the heck? Like, why isn't this over? Like, what is going on? Like, because I know there's no college funds, right? And the reason why I know this is because my school ain't been paid off. The other reason I know is that my grandmother was a public school teacher for the city of Dayton. She was a public school teacher and she was a wonderful, wonderful teacher. She was there for like 35 years. But the most my grandmother ever made a year was like, I think 35 or 40,000. That was the most she made. And she has like 10 grandkids. Like, she got a lot of grandkids. I know, and you know, and we know that school is expensive. So I'm just like, how did this lady save college funds for 9 children? Yeah, that I didn't think that math was mathing either, sis. This can be easily like proven. This can be easily dispelled. Why is this attorney not fixing this? I just don't understand. So I call my aunt and I'm like, hey, you know, can you run by his office and like see if he's there? Because I haven't heard from him and he's not responding to me. And we got to figure out this like court case because we got to figure this out. She goes to the office and she's like, yeah, he's not there. Mind you, when she went, it's like Tuesday at like 1. So I'm like, why is an attorney's office closed Tuesday at 1? She's calling him and she's calling him. I'm calling him. Then it starts going to voicemail. And I'm like, what is going on? It is now 2019. I cannot reach my attorney and I'm desperate because I'm terrified. I feel awful. Oh yeah, on top of that, my uncle is like telling people stuff. Like, he's spreading rumors in my family that just are not true. Like, he's just saying all these terrible things about me. He's saying all these terrible things about my dad and like none of it is true. And like, that just hits different when like someone is telling lies about your like parent that's not here. Like, that hits a whole nother level. So I am just stressed. I just got married. I feel terrible because my husband just married into this insanity. I'm just like, the depression is on 10. The depression is real. The depression is flagrant. The depression is depressing, okay? I literally prayed to God. Now, y'all, I've always believed in God. Like, I've always gone to church at some point in my lifetime. But honestly, I just always felt like, at the time, I always felt like I don't need God all the time. I just need him sometimes when I'm going through stuff. And like, you know, I don't know. I felt like, this could sound crazy. I felt like God was for like the older people, the mature people. You know what I mean? I felt like, oh, like, I'll do that when I'm older. You know what I mean? That's just how I don't know. I didn't know any better. But I never thought that God could radically change my circumstance. You know what I'm saying? Because that had never happened to me before. I hadn't noticed it happened to me before. And I was just going through a really hard time. And I was really angry with God because I was like, my dad was an amazing dad. He was a wonderful dad. Like people used to say my dad was a hood's dad. Like, he was one of those like figures in the community. And I was just like, God, why would you have somebody like that pass away? Me and God were like trying to figure stuff out. So I prayed to God and I was like, God, please help me. Please help me. I was like, please help me. Like, I don't know what to do. This attorney is being weird. Help me figure this out. So I just look on Google one day and I am just looking up estate attorneys. Found an attorney, his name was Randall. I go to him And I basically lay out everything. I tell him what's going on. I tell him all my concerns, you know, blah, blah, blah. And when I went in there, I just felt like relief. It was so weird. Like something just made me feel like, oh, this guy is going to help me. Like this guy is going to figure this out. He asked for my dad's name, you know, I had to, you know, give him the death certificate, all that, you know, all that fun stuff. And I had to give him my grandmother's death certificate too. He's like, hey, I'm gonna help you. He's like, first I have to see if Brian, this attorney, is still over your case. Cause I can't, if he is, I have to contact him and, you know, say, hey, she wants new representation. Blah, 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 blah. And I don't know what lawyers do about that, but yeah, he had to like, you know, contact him because, you know, you can't have, you know. So I'm like, all right, that's fine. Maybe you'll be able to get a hold of him. Cause then he says, oh, I know Brian. Like he knows of him. Not that he like is friends, but he's like, oh, I know Brian. I should be able to get a hold of him. So I'm like, cool, cause I can't. I hear from Randall probably a week later or 2 weeks later. And he goes, hey, do you have time to talk? And I say, yeah. He's like, so,
Brian actually took himself off of your case. He withdrew himself. Did you know that?
No. Like, don't they have to notify you? He's like, yes, I'm asking you because I do not see where he ever notified you. I'm like, yeah, no, didn't know that. He said the other surprising thing is that Brian has actually been arrested and indicted on stealing $90,000 from a trust of a client and for using or trafficking Coca-Cola. And you know the white Coca-Cola, not the Coca-Cola in the bottle, the Coca-Cola, wipe your nose. I am stunned. That's why he hasn't been answering your calls, because he has shut down his practice. He is in jail and he is looking at a lot of charges. So I am like, what is my life? I'm just like, my uncle is suing me. He's suing me for things that I don't even know about, and I'm pretty sure don't exist and have never happened. My attorney, or who I thought was my attorney, is like not answering my calls and kind of like leading me on. And here I go and find out that he has been arrested on Coca-Cola charges and on stealing from the trust account of a client. This is not my life. Like, this is not my life. And my father has passed away, so I can't even properly grieve my father. Good news is I can be your attorney. I'm gonna take your case. I'm gonna help you. And he's like, guess what? I actually know your uncle's lawyer because I think he said they went to school together. And so I was like, oh, perfect. I'm just going to like talk to him. Let's see if we can get this in mediation, because you guys don't want the house. I said, nah, we don't want the house. We don't want none of us want this house. No. So he meets with his attorney, and he calls and gives me an update, and he's like, so I met with the attorney, and I said, okay, well, so what we gotta do? What do I sign? He's like, yeah, your uncle doesn't want to mediate. He wants to continue. Huh? My lawyer is telling his lawyer, hey, you know what? I've got all of their financial records. I have everything. He's like, there were no college funds. The accounts that he's saying she stole out of, she's not on them. And a lot of them are dormant. They were dormant when like their grandmother was alive. So he's like, there's nothing here. And the kids just want to sign over the house to the estate and be done. And his lawyer said verbatim, this is what my client wants. And my attorney told his attorney, but there's no basis here. Like, you're just gonna put them through a court case for no reason. And that attorney goes, this is what my client wants. So what is my life? He is like, we are gonna weather this storm. We are gonna wait this out. And I'm like, so basically I have to wait until he's tired of paying this attorney. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it looks like that. I'm gonna keep negotiating. I'm gonna keep doing this. Like, I'm gonna keep working on this, Lawrence. Now, fast forward, we are in 2020. Court case is still going on. It's still going on. The judge at this point has ruled that there were no college funds. And I would say yes, because I was like, I went to school and I still owe Ohio State money. But there's still this house. Oh, and by the way, my uncle has decided he don't want the house no more. He just gonna sue me. He just wanna force me to take the house. That's what he want now. He wanna force me to take the house and pay him something. No, in the midst of all that, we randomly decide on a humbug to sell our house. Really, it was because it was 2020 at the time, and y'all know, if y'all know anything about 2020, the mortgage rates were low, houses were selling like hotcakes. We had a neighbor who was selling their house, and my husband came home and he's like, hey, did you see how much they're selling their house for? And I was like, no, why? And I looked and I was like, we should sell our house. And I think also part of me was like, I think I might need the money because I'm gonna have to pay this attorney. I'm gonna have to pay whatever because these people are accusing me of this stuff that I didn't do. And I know I didn't do it, but it's like, how many times have we seen people be accused of doing something they didn't do? Get in trouble for doing the very thing they didn't do. Like, how many times have we seen that? So yeah, I was kind of like, I might need the money, so let's just do this. We sold our house and we bought a new one. And the day before we closed on our home, we found out we were pregnant. And it was wild because we really didn't know we were pregnant at all. We were just like, let's sell this house and get a new one. That was probably the first time I realized that like God is really with me because he literally did something for me that some people had said may not be possible. We move into our house, it's all good, it's all great. And then ring, 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 it's my attorney. They dropped the stuff about the accounts because they did like a forensic look at the accounts, and all of the bills or the money that was leaving the accounts, they were the utilities. We still have this house. And I'm just like, okay, like, I just want to get rid of the house. I want to be done with the house. I just want to be done. Can't I just sign it over? And he's like, well, we can't because he don't want it. Now he fighting. Him and his attorney are putting in motions. They're doing all this extra stuff because now he has just decided that he wants me to give him money. And I'm like, I don't want the house. I'm like, you've been fighting me this whole time for this house I don't want. And I don't know if he looked up the value of the house. I don't know if he realized how much like work he was gonna do, that he would have to do to the house in order to get it back in good shape so that he could actually sell it to get money off of it. I really have no idea. He's like, but we're chugging along. So boom, it's 2021. Y'all are probably like, girl, this started in 2017. It did. It is now 2021. That's 4 years. Four of them things. March of that year, I give birth to my son. And that was a very bittersweet moment because I was just so happy to see him. But then at the same time, I was just like, my mom got to see him, absolutely. But I was like, dang, I wish my dad was here. If y'all have been through something traumatic or something you're working through, and when you really think about the time span that it has taken for you to get there, it's like I was engaged, married, sold a home, bought a home, had a baby, all in the midst of being sued by my uncle. It was a lot to go through all of those mass life changes in your early 20s and in your early 30s, and you're being sued and you're trying to start your life, you have this new husband. Like, that is a lot. Makeup break. I'm just doing a quick daytime beat. I'm going to go volunteer at the church for trunk or treat. So I'm using the Sephora Clear Brow Gel, and I'm just doing this to make my hairs stand up. This is like a trick I do because it sets it off. Okay, girl, listen to me. It sets it off for the next product we're gonna use, all right? Don't skip this step. The star of the show is the L'Oreal Faux Brow Pen. I have been talking about this. This is not sponsored. I don't use my other brow pencils anymore. I literally only use this. She gives a microbladed look. People are always stopping me, wanting to know where I get my brows done. I tell them, get the L'Oreal brow pen. It is like $13 at Ulta. I will have it linked down below. It's got the 2 prongs here. I'm just gonna slightly comb through. Use light pressure, don't push really hard. Cause I don't know if y'all can see, how much pigment comes out? And I'm just using very light strokes And I'm not making a new shape. I'm just following the shape of my brow that I already have. Like, you see how it looks so natural, but it's so defined. Like, it just looks like little hairs. Now, I will say the first time you use it, it's a little intimidating, just because it's different from what, you know, you've probably normally used. Oh my gosh, girl, and here are my brows. Aren't they? I just love them because they're so, like, they look done, but they don't look overdone. Like, y'all know how you have those brows where you gotta like do a lot of makeup in order to make it look like you don't look crazy. But this doesn't look like this. It's so natural. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I am at my house one day. My son is about 5 months old at this point. It is 2021. I remember it vividly because it was like the summer, but my son is like 5 months old. I'm kind of at home just chilling out. I've just kind of, I don't think I gave up on the process or gave up on having a resolution. I just think I was just really exhausted. I was just really over it at that point. Oh yeah, and I got postpartum depression, so you know, I don't care about nothing. At this point, getting a call from my attorney gave me anxiety because when he called me, he never gave me like bad news, but he never gave me good news either. I just wanted this to be over so badly. And I just remember him calling me. I had anxiety and I answered the phone and I'm like, hey Randy, what's up?
Hey, are you free today? Can you come to the office?
Why? Like, why am I coming to the office?
I need you to like sign the paperwork for your dad's estate.
I'm like, what? Because mind you, y'all, I couldn't open his estate because I'm being sued. And it was just a bad idea to open the estate. How am I able to do that? And he goes, well, the judge reviewed the case and threw it out. What? Also, your uncle has stopped paying his attorney. So I guess he stopped paying the attorney whenever. So I think that was the real reason why it got thrown out, but he stopped paying the attorney and the attorney was just like, I'm not doing this no more because you're not paying me, so I'm out. Y'all, I just was like in shock because I can't believe that this is about to be over. I get in the car, I take my son with me because my husband's at work. I take my son with me and I'm just in disbelief. It's over after, you know, the rumors said about me, the things that my uncle was saying, the worry, the concern, the stress, just not really being able to like grieve my dad the way that I felt like I should have been able to. And just to know that it was over, it was the craziest feeling. I was so happy. I was tired. I was relieved. I was sad. I wasn't sad that it was over. I was just sad that this is what I had to go through. I was sad that this is what my family was going through. And y'all, I had this happen to me in the car, and I've never talked to anybody about this because I was just like, people won't think I'm crazy. But I was in the car just in a stupor, kind of like, I knew I was on the highway. I knew where I was going. I was very coherent. I knew I was on the road in between the lines and stuff, but I was kind of in a stupor. And I just heard this voice, and the voice wasn't in my head. The voice wasn't in the car. The voice was like around me. I don't even know how to describe it. And I literally heard, whoo, I get emotional talking about this because I get emotional trying to like talk about this because I've never said it out loud. I just remember this voice saying, I'm always with you. It was like a voice I've never heard before. And it was so strange. It was one of those times where I was like, did I hear that? And it's just like this feeling, this like light feeling just like washed over me. And I just remember being like, is that God? And right then and there in that moment, I realized like, you've been here the whole time. I get to the attorney's office and he's like got all his paperwork. He was like, hey, I have all of your dad's like pension, his 401k. I've got all this stuff here. And then I sign everything and I'm like, okay, cool. What's next? He's like, all right. He's like, oh no. You gotta sign this paper too. It's for your grandma's estate. Why am I over my grandma's estate? Mind you, I didn't want to be over her estate the entire time. I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with this. Like, everyone's fighting. Everyone's angry. I want nothing to do with this. I did not know this. You have to have a particular credit score to be over an estate because you're dealing with assets, you're dealing with property. So you have to be somebody who's responsible, somebody who pays their bills. And I guess they use a credit score to like, you know, to better secure, but to better be assured that whoever's over the estate is going to do the right thing. So I am in shock because this whole time I was being sued over this house that I didn't want. I'm being sued by someone who's like fighting me to be over the estate that I don't want to be over. I think part of me was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is a joke. My son is like spazzing out because remember y'all, we got a 5-month-old baby with us, right? My attorney's like, well, I have to take this call real quick. Let me go take this call. So my attorney comes back and he has this like weird look on his face. It's kind of like, it's a grin, but it's kind of like a, oh my gosh, it's kind of like that kind of look. So I'm kind of just like, what's going on? And he goes, I just got a call from your uncle. Your uncle just said,
LaRock can have the house if she just gives me $10,000. I ain't gonna do nothing if she just gives me 10 grand. That's all I want.
my attorney tells him, hey, so I know you don't have an attorney. The judge is throwing this out. And he goes,
well, if she don't give me the 10 grand, I'm gonna get another attorney and sue her again. Cause I know she had to have stole money to buy that house. How the heck does a 27-year-old buy a house?
you are suing me about my starter home, about my first home, because you could not fathom how a 27-year-old could buy a home. Like, this is real life. My job, this was not some grandiose home, okay? It was like, I had a washer and dryer that was 25 years old. We had windows that needed to be replaced. I had a chimney that didn't work. I had old creaky wood floors. Like, it was a good home. It was our starter home. I love that home, but it wasn't some grandiose house. I was just floored that all of this was because he couldn't fathom how I could have bought a house. And so I, of course, told my attorney, I'm not going to give him $10,000. I'm going to give him what he wants. He wanted the house. It's going to go back into my grandma's estate where it was in her estate. But me as the executor, I can now say this home is going to these two people. And so, because I was not about to sit there and pick, does he get it or does my aunt get it? No. I signed the house over to my aunt and him. I signed my dad's estate papers and all is right with the world. That is the story of my uncle extorting me for $10,000 and how he sued me after my father had passed. Now, y'all are probably asking, why did you tell us all your family business? Because this is my testimony of how I found God. Like I said before, I had always like believed in God. Like I would pray to God because like I was supposed to, you know what I'm saying? I would go to church, so I'm supposed to, you know, and I didn't even go on a regular basis. It was like on and off we would go, but I never had like a personal relationship with God. I was just like, I'm supposed to go to church and pray with you and pray to you. That's what I'm supposed to do. Honestly, going through that, me being in my 20s, I'm like planning my wedding. My dad, who's supposed to walk me down the aisle, passes away. I'm just like, God, you are tripping. Like, why would you do this to me? This can't be the God that my grandparents told me to pray to and that he would always protect you. Like, this can't be it. And so for a long time, I was angry with God. If I'm following God, I shouldn't be struggling. That's how I used to think. I used to think if I follow God, I should be struggling. But this situation, I'm so thankful for. And I'm really thankful that my uncle was horrible to me. And you might be like, what? I'm really thankful because this situation showed me that God is real and that God can get you through the most difficult, the most gut-wrenching, the most horrible situation of your life. You will be in hills and valleys, and you might have a lot of valleys. You might have a lot of low valleys, because I had some low valleys. God is with you through all of those valleys. Like, I remember going through that process and being so irritated when the judge would be like, okay, I don't have evidence of this, let's throw this out, whatever. I used to be so irritated, like, oh my gosh, like, why haven't they figured out that this is all a lie? Why are they making me go through this? And at the time, it was like God was even with me through that, because I could have had a judge that didn't see through the BS, didn't see through all the stuff. I could have had a judge that, you know, sided with him. I could have had a judge that made me do all this extra stuff that wasn't necessary. And so, you know, even going through that with my first attorney who had Coca-Cola charges, I could have had that attorney. He could have represented me. He could have very well stolen money from me too. He could have very well made my life so much harder, but God blocked me from that also. I'm just so thankful that I went through that process, because it made me realize that I need God, and that God is always going to be with me, and that bad stuff is going to happen to me, but God being with me is going to get me through it. He's going to get me to the other side. Like, there is going to be joy on the other side. There is going to be something anew. Like, I am going to feel better. I am going to move past this. And so I just think it's really important right now to understand that a lot of people right now are going through some really hard times. Like, there are people who can't pay their bills. There are people who can't get food. There are people are going through a lot right now. I just want y'all to know who are struggling right now. I just want y'all to know that God is real, and he hears you, and he sees what you're going through. And even though you feel like, oh my gosh, it's been a year, it's been 2 years, it's been 3 years, it's been 4 years. That's how I felt. I was like, it's been 4 years. Like, how is this not over? I thought you were God. Why aren't you just making this go away? And God puts us in situations because he wants us to see his glory. He works in suddenlies. God shows out when we are like, I've done everything I can do. I don't know what else to do. Like, here, it's yours. I don't know what else to do. That is when God works his magic. That's when he make it do what it do, baby. Just remember and know that, like, God is always with you. He's here for you. He sees you, and he is working in the background. You may not be able to see it. It may not make sense to you. You may not believe it. Continue to keep trying. Continue to have faith, and continue to know that he is the Alpha and the Omega. He is the beginning and the end. This is his. He's going to determine what happens, regardless of what any human does. I just hope y'all got from my story that even though things may take a long time, even though things may not look the way you want them to look, even though things are not moving in the way that you want them to move, that doesn't matter. Because what matters is what God says at the end. And God works like that. He will change your situation so fast, overnight, in the most unexpected way. Girl, comment down below. Let me know what situations God has gotten you through. Let me know if this video helped y'all. I hope that it made you feel better about whatever you're going through, because we all go through something. It's just that some of us just don't talk about it. And I know me, I'm someone who doesn't really talk about the stuff I'm going through, because I just don't. I just want you to know, whatever you're going through, God got you. He got you. Even when it don't look good, girl, because I can't tell you how many times it did not look good at all. He still got you. Have faith. But yeah, here's the face. Here's the everyday regular mom. I'm gonna go volunteer at the church trunk or treat. Trunk or treat. Did y'all know you gotta decorate your trunk? I didn't know. We ain't got nothing. I think I got some streamers or something. I gotta do something. I didn't know. If you're into beauty, if you're into lifestyle, you into fashion, you're into having fun, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. I'm gonna go. I'll see you later. Till the next one. Bye.